Then BOD third item rush. Is Chaknu gonna go the same way? Is this their way of pressuring Sean this time around?
There's the Phobias and then the Selena.
Okay.
Picked up by Twisted Mind, so that adds a little bit more flair to it.
I like this. I think TNC Pro Team were thinking that Twisted Minds will pick a mid laner that's more backline centric. Except this time around, Twisted Minds decide to play into the fight against TNC. So again, you pick up the Selena if you're going up against fast rotating roamers to help balance things out in the map. So I get the Selena pick, but there's a chance he might just get straight up blasted by the Lunox. So I think it's going to be up to Sean to see how will he be able to consistently hit the Abyssal Arrows and stop the rotations of TNC Pro Team, as it does look like this is a Khalid or roam for Chaknu.
At the end of the day, it's still a matter of skill. They have what it takes to at least go for the team fights if they want to. There's going to be enough vision for them to at least work their way into certain situations where they can win. But for TNC Pro Team, that is 3mar holding on to a Hilda. Something that we don't usually see, and a Khalid picked up here by Chaknu. I am quite surprised with how things are going here. I don't know what the other casters are, so Naisu, Leo, what you got going there, boys?
Hey, I'll tell you guys what we got going over here. We are just as excited to see Game 2 ahead of us. Again, it's me, Naisu, and Leo to bring you Game 2 in this best of 5. TNC off to a good start. One game under their belt, a decisive one at that against Twisted Minds.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Already?
Chaknu crossing over.
You're trying to get that level 4.
I mean, you could be aggressive as a Khalid, but this is something else entirely. Back to what you were saying.
Hey, I was going to say, you know, after the game, we saw the Mamba play on the Gatakacha that was taken
MVP
by him, MVP. Now he's going to play the Khalid. He had to burn the flicker early on, that's fine. But I'll tell you what, if he went like MVP status 4 and for whatever his KDA where he got the double on the Gatakacha, he can do it here with the Khalid. And if it's built the same way we saw in the previous series, oh, Halloy, we might see that, man.
God, I think TNC just all huddled up and said, you know what, let's just live on their side of the jungle.
Yeah, and this is, by the way, this all goes to it.
Is this number 17?
This is number 17. That's the Mamba pool.
I'm pretty sure that conversation happened between him and Ethelmouse, like, hey, Bunak, you want to play this?
You want to? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Let's do it, Cap.
All right. That's probably what happened with the Hellcurt, too.
It's Coach now. Okay, let's do it, Coach.
All right, let's do it, Coach. But again, Chaknu is one of those players. You know, this whole discussion leading into this matchup alone was, you know, the old versus the new in a way. And I think you can't deny that effect that Chaknu has. And that's something that, I mean, even the audience here, the TNC Phoenix Army out here, you hear them chanting his names.
That's right.
All the time, even in the last game.
We're talking about the only Hall of Legends inductee to not have an MPL championship under his belt.
And who's to say it can't start here to get that championship?
Hey, if you're a Phoenix, the only thing you can do is rise, and that is rising to the occasion. First hurdle up. Look at 3mar and Chaknu taking the back door over, compromising that front line. The Lunox coming in, but that's a little too much. Zaida can't catch a break. Throwing out that boat, taking down Kaloy. Lancy draws first blood. Lansu jumping on the Chaknu, not able to stop him. It's a trade. First blood for the turtle.
Yep, they get that first blood. That does go in the hands of Lancy too. That's great for a scaling mage like this Lunox that can pop off a ton of damage if given that the itemization, the timing on this power spike here. We're seeing the Lunox pop up more, and I know Hans mentioned this specifically in the draft. There's a flicker being burned by Sean. But, you know, that's one of the things, that burst damage potential and also the ability to bait out these abilities or these ultimates even from Twisted Minds by utilizing that brilliance is what makes the Lunox still a pretty good pick. You know, it's one of those heroes that has popped up more towards the end of the regular season.
You know what? They got 3 heroes that can do that. The Lunox, the Khalid, you know, Flicker, Rampaging Sandstorm, Runaway, Quicksand Guard, or even the Hilda. Flicker through, run into a bush. I can do it all over again.
And this is the map for that. The dangerous grass,
man.
Extra
ways to proc Hilda's passive. Looking at the item game, TNC up by about 200, 300 gold. It's a very small advantage. But still, you have to consider, 3mar isn't traditionally laning. Oh my God, forcing out a brilliance out of Lancy. They drop the Salmon Force, and Chaknu here surviving through the... Oh, not going to survive through this. Lansu takes him down, and they clap back on Lansu. Zaida takes him. Kaloy barely gets away. Nausea covering fire. TNC, they get the winning trade.
Not only did the Mamba set things up with that flicker Raging Sandstorm, but then, even with the Quicksand Guard, yeah, he eventually went down, but he bought enough time for the rest of TNC to capitalize on that whole exchange. Again, it built up in a little extra 500 gold for them, but these kills are going to the right members here for TNC. For Twisted, they're getting so close. That fight, there was so many low health bars of TNC to take, but they just couldn't capitalize on those kills. So now, second turtle of the game is up. MP has the ability to go ahead and start this up for them.
Mountain Shocker, Zaida knows exactly where everyone is. Benicudi and Lancy goes and takes that Pixel Brush. 3mar flushing Lansu out of it. Now Zaida putting himself deep into the pit. What's Chaknu thinking?
He was there putting the pressure on Sean. He's going to go for them, but the arrow!
Oh my God, Lancy taken out just like that. Now Zaida looking to take down this turtle. Wants it, gets it. Retribution on point. Chaknu dancing between three, make that four. Gets popped by Kaloy. An AOG making sure that Zaida stays, and Zaida gets taken down. Double kill for Kaloy, and all 3mar can do is run around the other side.
Look at all these bushes for me to run in. Man, Twisted, they took that Gatakacha. They showed TNC, hey, it feels good to have them now. 3mar will go ahead and stop them from taking some more damage onto that mid turret. But MP is going to go ahead and take the orange buff. He'll get on out. It was a good attempt, but I will say this for Twisted, they go ahead and diminish that gold lead that was building up for TNC and now get themselves some confidence to go ahead and scale into this. Again, part of this whole game plan for them is to play around that scaling of a Harith for Nasha. 3mar still just kind of scouting things out here, but that big problem is these arrows, man. They land on the right target. TNC, they gotta take care of the back line.
And what I'm sensing is 3mar's getting overloaded. All of these things that they have to do, Chaknu and 3mar can't do by themselves. And they have to do all of those things the old-fashioned way. They have to run up to the targets, block these arrows, and flush out Twisted Minds from formation. All this while, TNC, we don't even know if there's follow-through, because you have to think about this. Benny's farming, Zaida's farming, hell, Lancy's farming.
Yeah. They're all just trying to get to that point where...
Triple core lineup,
It is. It's expensive, man. And, that's why, again, when you look at some of these objective angles that they're taking, it's, let's try to cause some chaos on the back line of Twisted Minds, but then you leave your core members susceptible. And if they get hit by one of the arrows, then they're in a position where it's like, all right, it's almost an automatic kill because, Chaknu and 3mar are off doing things on the back line. So that's something they have to watch out for here. But I think we're going to continue to see this. So Brilliance is going to be used. So Lancy will go ahead and use that up. But Chaknu, look at this. This is what he likes to do. Regardless of what hero he's playing, this is how Chaknu plays this out. The last turtle of the game is going to come up here. Twisted has control of it. We'll see if TNC wants to contest.
They clap on the 3mar, flickers through, might have missed that brush, and will still survive. And now deep underneath this Salmon Force, they get flushed out, Chaknu pushed out, taken down, Envy the King secures it. AOG, Zaida able to run away just in the nick of time, but there's not enough damage on him or Lancy to punish Kaloy. Twisted Minds get away with 2 out of 3.
Yep, they get that turtle. They're not going to be able to press in that turret though. But look what's happening here. Again, this is these fights that are breaking out, that are going in favor of Twisted. Well, Sean's going to have to burn the flicker, so we'll survive there. But this is the thing, they just don't have enough damage to get through that front line of Twisted. That front line right now is a whole lot of Lansu, man. On the Phobius, this is once again one of those heroes that we've seen do so well. 1v2, 1v3, he's able to go ahead and jump up, and then you throw in Kaloy on top of it. Yep. Kaloy, a lot of times, it's either the Revitalize or he just jumps forward to cut off that escape route of TNC.
And those heroes in this comp are much easier to execute a team fight from compared to TNC, who have to run around and scramble for an advantageous position.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to fight as TNC.
And that's why I'm looking, maybe that game plan, maybe that idea is for eventually Benicudi. How many times have we seen the Granger pop off in the late game? The same could be said for Harith, though, in a sense here. But this might be one of the moves for TNC. It is an expensive lineup. It does have time to build up. But if you get to the late game, Dude, you have great damage, physical and magic in terms of the Granger and having that Lunox there. Plus, sprinkle a little bit of YSS.
That's what, 5 or 6 minutes that you're hoping Twisted Minds doesn't roll you over with.
Yeah, maybe 8.
Maybe. I'm trying to be optimistic, but with the way it's going, Zyda's doing the right thing. He's being very sneaky about this. He's hitting that turret, gets that cheeky push down bottom. Nothing Twisted Minds can do to stop it. And now it's making more sense what Chakra and 3mar are doing. They're just making these weird rotations to keep Twisted Minds honest.
Yeah.
So they don't get a split push of their own. Oh my God, 3mar. See, wasting the time of 4 members.
Eventually, though, too, 3mar, I was going to say, he's going to be able to go ahead and tank up some of those arrows, some of that magic damage.
Whoa.
He just gets the Radiant Armor.
Joseph,
Yes,
it's working though.
it is.
You see how there's no more gold lead?
Yeah.
It's about 400, 500. You can almost think they're at parity.
They are. And with this, the first Lord's going to be up, but Twisted, they know they've got to blitz this, but just around the corner is TNC.
Oh, Chaknu does jump into the back line. The AOG by Kaloi fighting underneath the Zaman Force. Down goes Chaknu. Nothing so far on the board for TNC as they blast away at Lansu. Lansu jumps onto them. Benny Cutie shoots him down.
arrow.
A stack for the Storm.
Oh.
And in comes Sean. Zyda cannot protect him. He falls alongside Lansy. Trading out for Lansu and Sean. 2 for 3. Twisted Minds winning this trade.
Some major problems with that fight. Benny wasn't there for it. He was a little bit too late to the party. The Lord was secured. And then even so, you saw what happens when you got a lineup that is focused on causing chaos and being everywhere else. Your other members are susceptible. MP the King saw a path. He went on with the punctures. Phantom Execution gets the kills. And that is a problem that TNC is going to have to solve as this game goes on.
And you know how bad it is for TNC that they don't deal enough damage yet?
How bad?
MP the King is building a super bruiser Lancelot.
He is.
It has a brute force breastplate, so good luck chasing that with your cores.
You got to chase that, man. Not only that, but you got to watch out for those arrows. I love that we have an arrow count, by the way, thrown out there.
So what is that?
35%. Yeah.
1 in 3.
1 in 3.
1 in 3 hits. How many of those hits are lethal?
Yeah. And, you know, it's much more lethal, I'd say, towards that early game. But then when you kind of shift the focus over to mid to late game, you got to think, all right, how good are those arrows? You got to make them count when you do land them.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You know, if you land one on the right member here, like,
Is it 3mar? Is he the right member?
he's not the right member. He should be tanking those. But that's the thing. You know, how long can you kind of withstand that when the rest of your lineup's everywhere else?
Looking at the map, it's clear that TNC are struggling. 3mar once again in the front of all 5 members. Forces a few responses. They're doing their darndest to protect this tier to a pop.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and hold on to it. Again, dancing around these arrows for now. But TNC, if we look at this, again, I think they're doing a pretty good job at damage control. Now, one of the main things, again, is Benny Cutie. I think if we see the next Lord fight break out in about 40 seconds, and he's there for the majority of the fight instead of being there towards the later portion, we're going to see that damage come into play here. He does pick up a Sea Halberd. You're going to lose his tier 2 turret, though, up top. But he's got some of the items that he needs to be a threat. You know, that's the main thing. And I think if he has the space to work with, now, again, it's one thing to have the space, and it's another to be in a position where you don't have to be so worried about getting picked off. That's the only problem I see here for Benny Cutie, is dealing with the pressure from Twisted.
Joseph, do you see this?
I see the graph.
Despite everything happening to TNC, Zyda is able to maintain a steady and close gold per minute rating to MP the King's 305 Lancelot.
Is that what, like, just YSS is able to do, though? Like,
I'd like to say more what Zyda's capable of doing.
just Zyda himself being different here. That might be a difference maker, especially when it comes to this. Again, the tools are there for them to contest this Lord. It's not one of those things where it's just an easy Lord for Twisted to take. This is also a big item pickup here for Chaknu. Does get the Athena Shield. 3mar picks up the Antique Cuirass. So these defensive items, as I was saying just about 6 minutes ago, is now coming into fruition. It's starting to come into play where it's like we have the defensiveness. We should be able to last against these fights a little bit longer, but Twisted has also scaled up really well here. They're slowly taking this Lord. They're getting in position. This is going to be a full-on fight. They're utilizing the extra bushes they have here, too, on this map.
Oh, Chaknu knows that something is amiss in that little Y brush. Lord gets hard reset. Kaloy holding that pixel brush, looking for a taunt. 3mar gonna sidestep it. Both teams actually very conservative when it comes to this dance.
Yeah, this is a crucial one, I feel like, for them. 14-minute mark.
Uh-oh.
This will start it up.
I smell a blitz.
I don't know if they're going to blitz it here, man. I think they're still respecting what TNC can potentially do. They can also see that, hey, they're getting a little bit tankier. You know, 3mar, you see him when he takes an arrow, he just sits in the bush, he doesn't take any damage from this. Again, that Radiant Armor and just the scaling really helped here.
Queen's Wings on MP. When was the last time you saw that many defensive items on a Lancelot?
I think he's got to be, man. He's got to be. You mentioned this earlier. Look at the build he's got going on. You know, he's got a little bit of that extra damage, even that true damage. But yeah, the Queen's Wings and then the Brute Force, a staple in most of these builds from the Lancelots. A little bit of that extra bruiser mentality here for this time around for MP. I think, you know, he felt, it's like, wait, game one, I was way too squishy on that Leomord. I got to be a little tankier here. But he's still got the moves on this Lancelot to work with.
He can get away with so much more.
He can. It's a lot more mobile, but man, this is a tough lore to take. And all part of it is the dangerous grass, man. It's giving that opportunity for 3mar just to stay in there if he wants to. So Twis is in a position where they can just wait this out.
Okay.
And delay it.
Interesting rotations by these junglers. Again, neither of them have to fully commit to it until the rest of the team agree to blitzing. So you'll see now there's more of a presence from Twisted Minds. They engage. That is MP the King, with down about half health, forcing a response. 3mar gonna go ahead, top himself up. Oh my god!
Whoa.
A flicker rampaging sandstorm onto Nausha. Takes him out of the map just like that. Now it's a 5v4.
I'm so surprised they caught him out. They're still going to be going for the fight. 3mar low enough, will survive. But now Benny, give him the space he needs, but MP!
Lancy shutting down MP! They send Kaloy away, but not before Lansu Full spinning his flicker as well. And just like that, in the snap of a finger, TNC take 3 plus a Lord for free.
What happened? It all started with Nausha. I'm surprised he got picked off there in a position he shouldn't have been in.
I call that the Phoenix Flash.
The Phoenix Flash.
Out of nowhere, they just take 3 dudes down. I mean, they set it up. It was a minute or two of sheer conditioning and setting up from across the river all the way into that. Oh, you know what? The Phoenix Flash specifically is Chaknu's Flicker Sandstorm.
It is, man. And again, I'm so surprised because Nausha didn't even burn his flicker.
You thought you knew the Mamba?
You
Think
don't.
again.
You don't. Man, what a turn of events.
What?
You got to remember how long they stayed around that Lord, too. It wasn't a blitz or anything. They took minutes. And now we get to that point. I said, hey, man, I think they need 8 minutes. Well, they got 8 minutes, Leo.
Exactly on the dot, Joseph.
Woo.
They're following military time.
It's military time at this point. That Lord making his way down bot. TNC just waiting for the moment to push down some of these turrets. They're going to make their way to go ahead and walk down this. That tier 2 in the bottom will fall with that charge from the Lord. And so now at this point, Twisted facing a pressure from every single side of the map. Every lane going to be pressured in here. They will keep the Lord there. They'll get a little bit of damage on this base turret. I don't think they're going to be able to do much but just clear out these minions. So far, so good.
Magic Sentry triggered by MP the King, so they know that the coast is clear, but it is anything but, because at 17 minutes, TNC are knocking on their doors, about to crack their way inside the base. A brilliance from Lancy, forcing a response from MP the King. Oh my god, takes down Lancy, but he's gonna pay the iron price. No, he won't. He lives.
Wow.
MP the King lives.
MP the King definitely feeling way more confident on this Lancelot than the Leomord in the last game. You can't do that on the Leomord. Finds Lancy amongst 3.
You know what? I would argue you can't do that with a traditional Lancelot. He took maybe 2 or 3 hits too much.
Yeah.
If he was rocking swords and blades. No, this man has a pair of demon wings and a full-on breastplate.
Imagine that as a Lancelot, by the way. He's built it.
He's a gladiator.
And he's got a gun. The Malefic Roar.
That's just in case.
That's just in case. That's a different timeline. You know?
Concealed carry. You put that away.
Put that away,
for
mister.
A rainy day.
Hey, he's MP the King. He's going to make it happen. But this is the thing. They defended against a strong push that should have been base turrets for TNC in most scenarios. They hold on to all their base turrets. Yeah,
That's
they take considerable damage, but they put themselves in a position to go again for this next Lord coming up. You got to remember too, it was quite the dance. It was quite the extended fight for that Lord that they took. Now we're talking about a much beefier, evolved Lord that you have to deal with.
That's right.
This is going to be, I would say it's going to be more difficult for TNC to pull off what they did previously. 3mar is going to get some information. He's going to go ahead and get spotted out.
Literally just annoying these members of Twisted Minds, just giving them too much stimuli to respond properly.
Man, Chaknu's trying to set up the same thing, by the way.
Gonna do it again.
From the same angle.
Hey, if Twisted Minds can go again, so can the Mamba.
So can the Mamba. I'll tell you what, it's Nasha holding on to this Lord. I hope Nasha doesn't get picked off again.
Nasha was his first victim.
He was.
I think it'd be very wise for Chaknu to try someone else.
To go a different route.
Maybe Sean.
Maybe Sean. I think at this point too, again, it's going to be different because just how, I guess, stronger this Lord is, and you can't really kind of blitz it. You know, you got to take this one a little bit slower. And 3mar will always be on that backside, that dangerous bush right there, to be able to provide the information. They're holding it at half health. Look at Chaknu. We'll see which way he decides to go. Arrow lands on 3mar. They're going to force the fight here, it looks like.
He's got his eyes on Sean. Lansu falls first. Lancey flickering back, and he finds Sean. Does not take him down just yet. Chaknu flickers away. Goes the hard way around. MP the King hits him with the Retribution. The rest of TNC about to collapse back on him. Kaloy has 3mar trained on him. An arrow thrown out by Sean. Nasha underneath that conceal. Kaloy gets his immortality pop. The brilliance from Lancey. Look at MP. 3mar goes down. And Lancey and 3mar fall. So does Zyda. The rest of TNC fall like bricks as it's just Chaknu left.
What a masterful fight for Twisted now. It's their turn to go and show TNC that they can fight too. And now with a full force, except Lansu, they'll charge the mid-turret.
Chaknu's crashing into the waves. He is just buying time. But it's not going to be enough as the turret falls. Twisted Minds still has a couple of minions left alongside 3 members. Ladies and gentlemen, Twisted Minds even the score, 1-1.
And we've got a series on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.